So, a lot of people having a lot of problems with what's gonna happen with the next season in Diablo 4. People thought this was an MMORPG, which makes sense because well, they kind of they kind of suggested that the game would play a lot like one, and it has a lot of features like the open world, pairing up with the people, wall bosses, all this stuff that are not very. There are not things that usually happen in an RPG. But the problem is that some of the features that an ARPG has and some of the things that an RPG has are in the L4 and apparently will stay there. Like, for example, seasons. And what does that mean? That means that every season you are going to have to essentially create a new character to experience the new content, and you have to level up from scratch. Now, they have fixed some of the problems because now the renown is not really gonna have to be redone in order to experience the new season. You're gonna have, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all the altars of Lilith, all the all of the exploration is gonna be there, and it seems to be very, very, very good. But you're still gonna have to re-level everything and re-gear and all of these things that usually people ARPG players are very much accustomed to, but MMORPG players are not. And well, these two essentially, sides of the problem are fighting against each other. One is saying, "Hey, RPGs are always been this way, and this gives a lot of replayability." For ARPGs, it's actually pretty good. And the other ones are like, "Well, I just want to have my character. I invested a lot of time into this character, and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to delete it. I don't want to abandon it. I know it's gonna be in the other server, but I'm gonna have to make another one. I don't like this." And is there a solution? Is any of them truly right and the other one not? Well, we'll talk about that now. Subscribe to the channel, by the way, for more conversation on this. Boom. I think there is a middle ground to be had. I think both sides have very, very good arguments. I think ARBs do have this for a long time, but they have had this for a long time. But at the end of the day, does that mean that it always should be the same way? Maybe not. Maybe there's a way of changing this to have seasons where you actually don't delete your characters, but it's still replayable. But the other ones, for the other side, as well, I mean, maybe, also you have to accept that you're going to have to re-level and, essentially experience with a new character in some sort of way to actually, have repeatable content and not just become an insane grind that never ends. Because, like, what's the other option? That we get, 20, 30 more levels in the next season, and we go from 100 to 1030, and we have to grind those out. And then again in the next season, and then again in the next season. That sounds horrible, especially for new players. Imagine having to start from level 0 to level 160 or something. That sounds horrible. But what is the solution? I honestly thought about one. Okay, first, well, not the main solution, but a few solutions. I think more importantly is that the game should be focused on account progression, skins, achievements, making, playing the game and leveling to this place in killing this boss in this season will essentially achieve you some sort of so you'll get an achievement and you'll get a skin for it, and that you can use on all your account. And of course that means that even if you did it in another character that is new, it doesn't matter because you can use it on all the characters, in your old character, in your new character, stuff like this that make people feel like they're not wasting their time by creating another character. I think that is very important, and I think honestly this game actually does that pretty well right now, but of course they can always invest more in this and make it very clear so everyone that plays the L4 knows this, and that is the case. Also, of course, the battle pass problem. You probably should be able to actually, progress your battle pass even if you're not in the new season. At the end of the day, that the battle pass seems to be important for most people, and forcing them to have to essentially abandon their character, create a new one, and start over again just because they didn't make it in time sounds horrible. That's one of the reasons why I honestly sometimes just quit PoE, is because I got a bit too late. Or maybe I don't even start the season because of this. Sometimes I'm in the middle of the season. I'm not I'm not max level. I haven't done the campaign, and I know that the next season is gonna be in like 1 or maybe 1 month and a half. And I'm like, man, I don't have that much time. Like, maybe I just should wait for the next season, start then, so I don't lose my time. Trying to get these things and not finish at the right time and get stressed out about it, and essentially just waste this whole character and get nothing, right? I think that definitely sucks. So having essentially ways for this to be, for this not to happen, essentially progressing, even if the next season has happened, and not wasting your character would be a good thing. Okay, but and this is a big thing, I think, and why most people don't like the idea getting a new character is because it feels like your personal character that you had before, the one that you're invested in, your character. It's you, right? It's you in the game. Essentially, no longer matters, and you have to create a new one. That sucks. And I know a lot of people in the ARPG community don't feel this way, but look, I play MMOs, okay? I know the feeling of having my character and progressing through it and being invested in it, and it does suck to essentially create a new one and abandon the first one. And how could you fix this? How could you fix this? I think there's a few ways. I think it would not be a bad idea, even if it's kind of the same as just deleting it, being able to essentially transfer your character that is level, I don't know, whatever, level 80 or whatever, from your, from one season to the next season. And it's the same character. Maybe it starts, well, probably not with more level, but maybe it starts with a few, with your old gear that is level, I don't know, who knows, like maybe level 10. It's level 10 gear, so a bit overpowered at the start, right? And you want to essentially, and you can just level up from there, and then the gear obviously becomes useless, right? So you have to re-gear, and obviously you have to re-level and get all your abilities, all your paragon, everything, right? But this little, this little thing that doesn't really seem that useful or that impactful probably will make most people feel like they didn't lose their character. And maybe not everyone. Maybe some of them will say like, oh man, I just got resetted. Fuck, that's kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, it does feel like it is your character. And yes, the same, it's the same gear, even if it's, scaled down, even with all those things, of course, the renown probably should be there anyways. And this way, you have this incentive to actually, continue with your character. And of course, if you don't want to do this, maybe, who knows, maybe you can have it so you make a duplicate character. So your character gets incendied, and the other one goes to new season, or maybe you delete it because maybe you should essentially lose something for this. I'm not completely sure on how it will work completely, but I think it will be honestly not a bad idea. And I think it is important to not be essentially stuck because of nostalgia or because tradition, right? Just because every RPG has had seasons where you delete your character, well, not delete your character, but you have to create a new character to do it, doesn't mean that we can find a middle ground where you can actually get, the best of both worlds. So, the casual players, the MMORPG players, because this game is trying to advocate for them, and I don't think it's a bad thing, especially because, well, are they gonna really be able to compete with PoE, being the hardcore ARPG? Probably not, right? So, probably a good idea to invest in those players too. And I think it's good to, question why is our seasons good? What is that they give us? Their replayability. But can we get their replayability without having these other negatives? Probably yes. There probably is a way to do it. And who knows? Maybe this is the one. Okay? Subscribe to the channel. Tell me if I'm wrong. And let's talk about it so we make this game better. Alright? Bye guys.